For those who don't know, Julia is my girl crush. I love all her food. I love all her books. And today we're going to be doing something with these beautiful tomatoes.
That's right. We're making a gorgeous stuffed tomato dish. It comes from Rome.
Yes.
It's very simple, very easy to make. So we're going to get started.
Great.
Amazing. So the first step is we're going to actually create a cavity in the tomatoes. So we need to kind of cut off the lid, and we're going to scoop out the filling of these tomatoes, roughly chop them, and I'm going to pop them in the bowl.
Yeah.
And while I'm doing that, would you mind adding some of the other ingredients?
Sure.
So we've got some basil over there that just needs to be finely chopped.
Okay.
And also some oregano. You can also use marjoram. I really love marjoram in this actually,
Yep.
but oregano is kind of a little bit easier to find.
Nice one.
So oregano, marjoram, and I'm going to roughly chop these tomatoes.
So I'm just scrunching up this basil and just finely chopping it. And I love this dish because it just celebrates those hotter months.
That's
isn't
right.
it? When tomatoes are great. Tell me a few tips about tomatoes when we bring them home from the shop. How do we get the most out of them for flavour-wise?
So I never put them in the fridge. So
Great,
I think keeping them at room temperature is really important.
Yep.
You know, choose ones that look, you know, beautiful and ripe. And I think buying them in summer when they're not kind of made in like, you know, grown in the hot houses is really special. So I'm going to finish off the tomatoes, and we've got some garlic going in. I'm also going to pop the rice. I use Carnaroli, like a risotto rice, but you can use a bordio or any other kind of short grain rice. That just goes in raw.
Yep.
And it's kind of going to soak up with all of these beautiful tomato juices.
Very nice.
And while I'm finishing off the tomatoes, we're going to create the base for our dish, which is some roasted potatoes.
Ooh, yum.
So you can cut them into like fat chips or into wedges, and they're just going to go into the base of our dish with lots of extra virgin olive oil. So once you've done the garlic, do you mind doing the potatoes?
Oh, anything for you, Julia.
Thanks, girls. All right, so we've got our potatoes ready. I'm going to put quite a bit of olive oil into the pan. If you don't mind popping those in. And then I've got all of the filling ingredients here. I'm just going to season it with some olive oil, some salt and pepper. And if you don't mind giving them a little bit of a toss so they're well coated.
Absolutely.
And then it's as simple as grabbing your tomato that I've hollowed out, and I've kind of matched the lid, so I made sure I've kept the lids with the tomato base. And we're just kind of filling them up.
And tomatoes are full of moisture, so they're just going to soak up all of that liquid from the tomatoes, flavour the rice even more. It's just a brilliant dish.
It's really ingenious, really, and frugal cooking, which I love.
Yep, absolutely.
So we're just going to pop these in.
And how long are we baking these in the oven for?
Around about an hour. So you want the potatoes to be cooked, the tomatoes to be just collapsing and a little bit burnished on top. That is it. We're going to drizzle with a little bit more olive oil and then into the oven.
Very nice.
Out of the oven. It's a real showstopper.
It really is. And the potatoes going that golden colour, the top's drying out a bit. Yum.
Exactly. So it's quite delicate now. The tomatoes have been cooking, but it's all kind of collapsed into this beautiful parcel. And you would just serve it, you know, you could serve it as a side, but also with some crusty bread to dip into that oil would be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's quite hearty, and I love this dish that it's in because everything sticks a little bit. It's a little gnarly. It's yum.
My favourite dish.
Fantastic.
All right, I'm just going to get some more potatoes. Should we have a taste?
Yes, please. I love all the rice just exploding because it's just so tender.
Exactly. That's really good.
It truly is comforting food, isn't it?
It really is, and that oregano just kind of permeates the whole dish.
And dried oregano would be all right, but the freshness of fresh oregano, you can really taste it. It's quite distinct in the dish.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love sticky olive oil potatoes like this? I just love how caramelised. Julia, I love your cooking. I know I'm not the only one, but I really love your cooking. It's easy and everything is just super delicious.
Thanks, Giles.